Hello, everybody. My name is Roberto Martinez with the Money Boy Podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching today's podcast. Let's get right into what my goal is today, and it's just address broadband and the affordability aspect of broadband and the issues that we currently face with affordability in broadband and the forgotten class of America. And this is what this article pretty much addresses. You know, as we continue getting more and more into more spending into broadband, and the United States is spending billions and billions of dollars a year to help build out broadband and get everybody connected in America. And the forgotten class has been the middle class. It's always forgotten. You know, you see the ACP, which is really funding to help support the lower end class of America, but you know, it's always the middle class that everyone seems to forget about. And this is what this research has found. You know, the newest funding that's being sent out across the states, and the states are required to distribute their broadband access, equity access, and development funds, which most of the chatter from that is on getting low-income communities connected. But the reality of this situation is there's another group that needs some attention, and that's the middle class that most people are just forgetting about. And the reality is they're getting left out. In addition to fabricating broadband access for low-income families, the Pew pointed out that the program requires that states ensure high-quality broadband services are available to all middle-class families at a reasonable price. However, the National Telecommunications and Information Administration has not set any standard for the middle-class affordability, leaving each state to create their own definition of what's quote-unquote reasonable. And that is the issue here. And that's the underlying problem that we have at the moment. And to me, that's going to be a challenge. And here's why. As states work to meet the requirements of the middle class affordability, initial regulatory challenge will be the potential perceptions of rate regulation. Pre-research instead, basically states will have to balance of mandating affordability from providers and avoiding of the appearance of rate regulation, considering federal and state governments do not have the authority over internet services to force them to have certain prices like they do electric. You know, and I know for a fact that federal and state governments do not have the ability to go to Comcast and say, hey, the max price you can charge on your gigabyte plan is $60. They can't do that. There is no way they ever could do that because the internet service is not considered a utility. Now, something like electric, yes, the states do have control over what the rate the electricity companies can charge. So that is the biggest problem here, and that's going to be the major hump that we're going to have to get over. Because, you know, there's no extra, funding that the middle class gets. You know, lower-end class gets the ACP, which gives them $30 per month towards their internet, which lowers the cost for them. But there's no other option for the middle class that really, once you reach that middle class, even if you're on the outer edge of middle class, you lose access to all them benefits, and that is just the reality. And that's just the sad thing is, you know, trying to figure out what is the solid information about how much we should charge for middle class internet access. And really, it shouldn't just specify what more for middle class. It should be affordability for internet across the board. And what should that set price be? And that's really going to be the issue here because internet service providers don't always give complete data about their pricing to the FCC. So how are we going to be able to address the affordability aspect if we're not really getting the full data? And we're not really getting the information that we really need to make an educated judgment on what their prices should be. And now we get into the insights. With recent research efforts, the Pew Charitable Trust offers states a better look into what might count as affordable internet for the middle class. While there isn't one clear standard for the middle class affordability, the FCC suggested a basic measure. The broadband shouldn't cost more than 2% of what a household makes each month. Pew Research leaned on that 2% benchmark to conclude that the middle class incomes across the U.S. ranges from $40,000 to $150,000, setting the national median affordability standard of $93.21. Now, to me, that's not necessarily affordable. I think $93.21 is a bit much for broadband, but neither here nor say. I think the reasonable price for like 1 gigabit connection would be like $70 to $80 a month. So they're not that far off, but it's definitely a little higher than what I feel like pricing should be. The standard cost comes out higher than the average price plan reported by other organizations such as New America, which found in 2020 that the average of non-promotional price was $83.41 per month, which is what I pretty much around what I said it should cost. Pew standard is lower than the FCC's reasonable comparable benchmark in 2023, which indicated that unlimited plan offering for 100 down and 20 up should be about $105.03 a month. Now that's laughable, honestly. Like, that's laughable. The fact that we're still over here trying to charge $100 a month for 100 down, 20 up, when we have gigabit plans for 80. Like, and we have better plans out there with 5G, right? 5G home internet plans that are $50 a month. They can give you 150 to I don't know 300 down, right? So this is just laughable. And realistically, a national standard does not account for the fact of affordability and varies in part of the country. Pew has set out regional standards as well. In the Northeast, the national standard was set at $107 per month. The South was set out $84.79 per month. The Midwest was set at $97.44 per month, and the West was set at $172 a month. 172 cents a month. My bad. Even within Pew found dramatic differences. The median affordability price for Texas is about $92.80 per month. But the Southern DeMat County, the affordability baseline was $41.67. So really, it's going to be hard to get a baseline even in a state level. You really got to look at it on like a local level, like a county-wide level, in my opinion. And even that may be too big. So this is going to be the biggest issue here, because you start looking at the reality of what affordability is on a standard for, broadband. It's not going to be easy to get that price set. And that is going to be the biggest problem. And I just hope that we get affordable internet and everybody in America can eventually be connected. And that's pretty much what this podcast is all about. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you like this podcast, please give it a thumbs up down below. I'd greatly appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button so you never miss another video. Have a great day, everybody. Love you all. Bye-bye now.